So anyway.
Are we recording?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
You see the red dot?
I do see the red dot.
I'm totally leaving this in, by the way.
Oh, yeah, sounds great.
I'm Jared. This is David.
Hello.
We're going to be talking about E3. What would you like to start talking about?
Well, let's begin with the obvious one. Let's do the best first. What do you think was the best parts of E3?
As in the best out of all of the shows or out of the three big ones?
Let's keep it narrow at first. Let's do the best of the big three ones.
Best of the big three. So, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. Worst of them, I'll go with first, is undoubtedly Microsoft.
That's what I've been hearing.
The worst show. There was no real new hardware release. Actually, there was no hardware release at all. They did a couple demos of some Kinect-based things that look kind of crap. Although you did kind of like one of them.
What was it that I liked?
I couldn't remember.
I did see
Was it the My Little Pony one?
No, it wasn't the My Little Pony one. I like the Sesame Street one. Thank you very much.
Right.
That's infinitely cooler. I also saw this thing where a guy was wearing a wrestling mask and it would put wrestling masks on you, and I was like, that's a lot of money to throw down for
wrestling masks.
Yeah, for wrestling masks. And the thing is that from what I saw, it just straight up didn't work. It would just kind of be there and then it would blink out. But apparently also the Kinect performers that they hire to play the games are terrible. They just look ridiculous on stage, just like, it's a running game! And they inadvertently make themselves kind of the laughing stock of the industry when they do stuff like that. But you gotta have somebody to demonstrate the hardware. So, Microsoft hands down, not good.
Alright, so Microsoft is the worst. Now this may be personal opinion, but I think Sony came in second. Yes, they did release the new hardware for the Vita, the PSP Vita, whatever you want to call it. Hardware-wise, it looks like a great phone. Oh wait, it's not a phone.
Oh, it doesn't have phone capability.
No phone capability, but it is. But it is tied into AT&T.
I saw the video when they announced that it was tied in with AT&T, and we're happy to announce that the Vita will use AT&T's network, and it's just silence. And you actually hear somebody like in the crowd do something like, "Oh man!" It's just not very well.
It would have made more sense to me had it been Verizon, but again, the area that we're in, you know, we're just used to having a Verizon connectivity. AT&T is not exactly as prevalent in our area. It might be in a lot more areas where they were mainly basing the idea for this device off of, but I know AT&T's crap here. It
was interesting though, because I read something on IGN today talking about the Vita and how it's going to go head-to-head with Nintendo's. Do they have another version of the DS coming out, or are they sticking with the 3DS for a little while?
The 3DS for a little while. I mean, a lot of the releases that they showed at E3 were from Nintendo, were pretty much for 3DS, other than their other announcement.
But IGN's just raving about the Vita. They think it's going to just be an absolute, I mean, they said that it's busting down the door to Nintendo's fortress. They were just raving about it.
I do believe that it's going to be a great handheld. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, it may even be better than the 3DS. It'll definitely appeal more to the hardcore gamers, but it's not... you know, it comes down to, you know, if you're going to make something like that and you're going to tie it to a network, you might as well give it phone capability too.
Yeah.
That would just make sense to me. I'm sure somebody out there will find a way to hack it and then get sued by Sony anyway.
That seems to be the way these days. But, so, do you think Nintendo's going to maintain dominance in that market? I
think Nintendo, for the time being, will maintain their dominance in the portable handheld market. They've got a lot of good content coming out for the 3DS that's going to greatly improve it. But I think Sony's going to do what they do best. They're going to come out with some good hardcore games for their audience. It's just wait until it happens. Yeah,
it's funny because it seems like, especially with this year's E3, there's just nothing that you can really sink your teeth into. I mean, there was hardware debuts and they showed a little bit of it, but everything is just so up to speculation.
It'll remain that way for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing we can do is speculate until we actually see something for... I mean, the good thing I did like about Sony's conference is at least anytime they talked about a portable release, somebody pulled out an NGP, or the Vita, whatever you want to call it, but pulled it out and would essentially play their demo on it. One of which was a Street Fighter X Tekken, which looked really awesome. But beyond that, it was just I don't think Sony gets top on my book for that.
So that leaves only one left then.
Nintendo. Now, Nintendo's usually the down, the redhead stepchild between the three when it comes to.
I can't believe you just used that metaphor.
It's usually it's not usually the best out of the three. They usually come out third place essentially, not the best out of the three. But this year, I think they did a really good job because they realized that their old hardware, essentially being the 3DS, was starting to have an issue with sales. And they answered that immediately by starting to release. They've got 5 announcements for some pretty big 3DS games that are going to be coming out, including Kid Icarus, which will be interesting to see. So that's kind of a big thing. And then, of course, the release of the Wii U, or at least the introductory video or crap or whatever it is.
I'm surprised that everybody's talking about the Wii U like it's going to be like the second coming of Nintendo's hardcore design. And where are they getting that from? Like, where
I
they got
have
that
no
idea
idea where they're getting that idea from, because to tell you the truth, I mean, I can see a lot of potential, but I can also see a lot of problems.
And it's like I think they're mining that out from the third-party development that's kind of already on board. But what third-party development you had with the Wii? I mean, they have Call of Duty on the Wii.
Well,
and it's awful. It's just maddening.
But you're talking about a version where they went from focusing on different aspects of, I mean, Call of Duty for the Wii isn't even a comparison. It's not even a Call of Duty game. It's just Wii Call of Duty.
It's Wii guns.
Wii guns.
And blood and cussing.
Here's a crappy controller and
hey, to be fair, I did have some fun with Call of Duty Wii. I hate to admit it, but there were times when actually having a gun and playing multiplayer, it worked kind of well, but the frame rate was so bad.
Well, the suggestion that they're going off of with this, and from what I've been able to gather with the Wii U, is that upon creating the next Call of Duty games, or whatever game you want to consider, it will be more like the other console versions. And the inclusion of the screen, if used properly by these other developers, could actually be very useful. I mean, whether it be putting a mini-map down on that screen with your HUD information on it, I think that would be a really good use of that screen, at least for that game.
I saw a demo, and I didn't actually even think about this. They had the Wii screen, the screen in the controller, and they held it up to the TV, and you could see like a sniper scope type thing through that screen, filtering it to the TV. And I was actually like, that's kind of swanky. That's an interesting idea.
I'd like to see that being used too, even for Call of Duty. But I mean, then again, it wasn't entirely confirmed by Activision whether or not they would do a Call of Duty title.
Oh, really?
The only one that hinted even was EA Games, and they showed a little bit of a video, where they kind of showed a little bit of Battlefield 3 on it. But that's, I mean, even then I can't say
Battlefield 3 on Wii U.
I mean, they didn't confirm any of that. The only games that I saw that they confirmed were even remotely interesting. I saw confirmation for like Darksiders 2 was confirmed, and even then the graphics didn't look the best, but that's not saying that that's what the console, the Wii U versions, is going to look like. So
I'm very interested to see what happens when Xbox and PS and PlayStation finally gets their hat into this ring when they show new hardware. And because I've been predicting for years and years that the console was a dated concept, and as more handheld universal technology kind of rushes up, I mean, it just seems like it's a really dated concept, and
it definitely does seem kind of dated on their own sense, but we'll see what happens. I mean,
and I feel like this year's E3 kind of showed a lot of evidence of that, because even though the Wii U is exciting, it was kind of an eyebrow raiser. I was like, what? I just wasn't expecting an iPad controller. I mean, I'll give it to you. You surprised me. When I saw that thing, I was like, what? What?
Surprise!
What the hell is that?
It's a controller with a giant screen.
So let's shift gears then. We talked a little bit about Microsoft and their
craptastic conference.
Terrible. Look at me, I'm playing baseball. Or basketball. I don't know when you do that. And anyway,
you do that in basketball too.
Yeah, basketball. I had a friend who once hit a basketball with a baseball bat in midair, and he spent like a couple of nights in the hospital because it hit him right back. Anyway, moving on. Besides Microsoft's embarrassing display, what else would you say was the absolute worst of E3?
I mean, to be honest, I think this year's conference wasn't one of their better ones anyway. The entirety of E3. There wasn't a lot on the table developer-wise that I thought there would be. Certain games that we've been hearing about for the last couple of years, I don't know. I mean, they kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. I mean, I was happy to see Skyrim, the conference for Skyrim. I was happy to see Battlefield 3 in action. That was a really good... I really liked how they handled that one, too. It was really well done. And the video gameplays that they showed, you know, it was new to us at that time, and it was really good stuff. And I kind of enjoyed some of the comments from some of the DICE reps that basically said, you know, if the console version and the PC version match the same, then DICE didn't do their job. So it's kind of hinting toward the fact that they really want to make it PC focused now as opposed to console. And I mean, that's kind of been a big issue too, is consoleization of games. You know, PC players who, you know, I mean, it's kind of a hidden market, but I mean, it's still 25% of the market is PC-based users. And the big complaint is that they've got better hardware that can handle these games and do better resolutions and better graphic texturing, and they're kind of left in the dust because they have to make it look like the console version, which never makes sense. So kind of nice to see a developer come out that says, you know, we want to make this better. They confirmed that they do want to make it an average of 60 frames per second for the PC and 30 for the consoles. So that'll be kind of a nice change to see somebody finally giving PC users what they want, I guess.
So. I think with, like, and we talked about this before, but PC use, you seem to be thinking that the industry is moving towards a more PC-oriented, PC-focused style of play.
The only reason why I totally believe that is because people are kind of realizing that there were some decisions made. Sony made some really bad decisions in the last year, and one of which was, I don't know, not leaving anything encrypted on their network, probably. And
that wasn't just that was a console issue too, for the most part, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty intense. I'm not going to get into full details because, to be honest, I don't have them all. I just know that, yeah.
I think that horse has been.
It's a dead horse.
It's
a dead horse that's been smacked, beaten, and
poor horse. But I think I'm going to have to disagree with you just for the sake of fun. I don't know if we're going to go to a more PCization for the industry. I'm not sure if people's wallets can handle that type of consumption. Does that make sense?
It does and it doesn't. I mean,
I think this is going to be better if we fight and we get angry with each other.
I'll give you an example. And hold on, everybody. We're going to our first commercial.
Oh, yeah.
I.e., that means see you